Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's market wrap-up here at Top Gun Options. Great week of trading. Had a miss on a SDS weekly options trade, thinking that if we weren't going to bust through this 200-day moving average, we were going to head lower. But a couple other positions that we covered this week: CSX, Raytheon, covered Brazil, looking really, really good. And let's get to the brief. Wanted to wait until after the president's meandering press conference, which we'll get here in a couple minutes. But one of our positions, as I said, Brazil, EWZ, we trade with the iShares ETF. The Brazil ETF looking great. Unfortunately, tragedy down in Brazil with Vale, the mine, big company that makes up a very large percentage of the Bovespa, the Brazilian stock exchange. They arrested 8 employees in the dam disaster that happened a couple weeks ago. 160 people killed so far, and scores missing. So, and this is a good thing, right? I mean, if the company knew this dam was potentially going to break and they hid it or covered it up, you need to go to jail. So, really like what Bolsonaro is doing down there. Brazil's new government is promising Wall Street the moon. So the EWZ has officially moved out of what I call a Captain Kirk trade, right? Boldly going where nobody's going. We've been trading Brazil for about 7-8 years here at TGO, and it's just been a phenomenal position for us. Okay, interesting. The president's meandering press conference. We're hearing hot and cold, right? Yesterday was hot and cold. Larry Kudlow, hey, looking really good on the trade deal, and then Bloomberg reporting we're not even close. After meeting with U.S. delegation, so President Xi did a quote-unquote unannounced drive-by of the negotiations today, or there yesterday, and so that was seen as a positive. There he is with Secretary Mnuchin. Xi hints that China won't budge on economic reform. So, and the two big principles that we don't like are what? The Chinese government supporting their businesses, really propping up their businesses and allowing them to undercut American businesses because they're government subsidized, and obviously stealing. The intellectual property things just isn't, even if they say they're not going to steal any more of our stuff, do you believe that they're not going to do it? So it's kind of hot and cold, and the president said, there's still some work to do, but I plan on. It sounds like he's going to meet with President Xi down here at Mar-a-Lago in a couple weeks, middle of March. So that trade is also looking very good. We have a couple positions on FXI, which is the iShares China large cap ETF. We were bearish on it for a long time, and we were bearish right until about here, and then I said it is time. That's what's great about trading options, is you can shift your strategic mindset in the blink of an eye when confronted with new facts, right? So about a month and a half ago, I said, yep, it is time to get bullish on FXI after printing money being bearish on it. So really good looking trade on FXI, and I'd still get into the bullish trade on FXI. Cover in March, because I think even if it isn't going to be a great deal, it's going to be something, and that's one of the biggest overhangs in this market is this trade war with China. And the president's right. Me shooting this video, we're bringing billions upon billions into our treasury that haven't been there before. And like the president says, I don't hold Xi responsible for this. Our previous leaders, fill in the blank. Every president before President Trump has sucked, hasn't done anything. A previous president flew around the world and kissed everybody's ass apologizing for American greatness, which was stupid. Anyway, so the trade talks going well, maybe not going well. Doesn't matter. The market is reading it as going well. Dow's up over 300 points right now. S&P's got a nice little rally. Nasdaq's up about 23. So here we are. And we talked about this yesterday. The retail sales number imploded. Fastest decline since 2009. There's a lot of government shut there. I think this is I don't think this is right. I agree with Larry Kudlow, who yesterday said this is a glitch. I wouldn't even look at this. The Amazon thing in New York is just hysterical. Amazon's like, okay, bye. In the blink of an eye, they said, we're not bringing our headquarters to New York. 25,000 jobs gone. What is it, $27 billion in potential tax revenue over 20 years gone. All these Manhattan or whatever real estate investors who all scooped up property in anticipation of this deal going through are now all broke. The housing market, I was talking to a buddy up there in New York, he's like, people are getting ready to jump literally off buildings. So the typical progressives, even the New York Times just ripped apart today Mayor de Blasio and that idiot Congresswoman, AOC, Occasional Cortex. How stupid. Just absolutely stupid. You have to read the New York Times article, which is, the New York Times ain't no friend of business, and they absolutely excoriate the mayor and AOC. Amazon's just simply going to take those jobs and go elsewhere and pump that money into the economy somewhere else. So New York City, New York, California, all these places are really turning out to be anti-business, anti-rich people, and they're all going to leave. Businesses are leaving. Even Governor Cuomo was furious yesterday with the Congresswoman and driving Amazon out. He had pushed very, very hard for this deal. So the best thing about what's been going on in this country lately is we are smoking everybody out of their positions. Gone are the smoke screens, man. People, you can now see that liberals and Democrats for exactly what they are. Anti-business, anti-rich people, looking for socialism, wanting to pay people not to work. This Green New Deal's comical. Let's get rid of airplanes and cows and all sorts of other stuff in 10 years. I mean, the next 2 years is going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, the market will pay attention to some of this, but at the end of the day, the president signing this emergency declaration hasn't done anything to the market. He ain't ordering people into internment camps, folks. It's ridiculous. I love to remind people, I'm like, what is the purpose of the United States Army? Why does an army even exist? It ain't necessarily to fight in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, although that's where we have been because we had to. But at its basic premise, page 1 of the United States Army book is to what? Defend the homeland of the United States. Have borders, right? Dudes on a wall with guns to protect our interests. So it's shocking to me that even the Democrats are going to sue in federal court to try and block this. What are they for? Are you literally for open borders? These are the same people who they're limousine liberals. They ride around their chauffeur town cars or limousines and, go behind their walls and have armed guards and then tell us how we should live. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we are holding above the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500, which is very bullish. This is, you got to trade the market you have, not the market you want. So we're heading higher. We put this trade deal behind us. We put this to bed, and we're off to the races. I think this rally keeps going here. Okay? So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless, and I'll see you for Monday's Market Outlook.